as assigned. Podcasts focused on just supporting administrators and sharing some of the things that I've learned over the last 10 years as a building administrator and 22 years as a public school educator. I'm Brent Schwankamp, and I'm glad that you're back, and this pairing with Keep Indiana Learning has been super exciting already for me. I've really enjoyed making the first couple episodes. I look forward to making the next couple as well. So today's topic is stress and how to manage stress, because there's going to be stress in this job. There's stress in every job, and if you think you can do this or do anything without having stress or dealing with stress, I think you're wrong. And I think over the last 10 years, I've learned that there's not one solution to dealing with stress, and there's not just one solution to kind of help with your mental health, your happiness, and your work-life balance. And so I'm just going to share today maybe a few things that I've come up with that have worked for me, or things, some resources maybe to encourage you to take advantage of. I think the first thing I would tell you is, when you talk about stress, is that dealing with, to deal with stress, to help work on yourself, takes work. And you can't, it's not magic. There's not some magic stress pill. There's not some magic, hey, if you do this thing for 10 minutes every day, you will live a stress-free life. It takes work to help yourself kind of find your balance. And I think that's the thing that I've really come to realize over the last few years. And it really started with our district always has a summer retreat. And we take teachers and administrators, and we have a retreat to kind of talk about a major topic, or talk about something that kind of guide us in the next school year. And one of the things that came out of that retreat was a book that I hadn't read before called The Happiness Advantage by Shawn. And The Happiness Advantage was kind of a light bulb for me in terms of my own happiness. And I love my job. I work really hard at my job. I want to be very good at my job, not only for myself but for our school. And so I put a lot of effort into doing my job well. Everybody does. And I wasn't, though, finding those moments to work on my happiness and to help, and realizing that if I was happier and finding those ways to be happier, I would do my job better. And so I really got into that book. I really enjoyed that book. I read a second book that somebody recommended, 10% Happier by Dan Harris. And that was a good book. It got me thinking about meditation and mindfulness, and just taking time and taking some time every day to find that peace and that center. And those two books were really good. I've enjoyed both of those. I also read a book that came out of a podcast, The Open Air Life by Linda Åkeson McGurk. She's a Swedish author and talks about the Nordic art of Friluftsliv. I'm sure I butchered that, but talking about living outside and being outside and embracing the outside. And so I think all those kind of things, all those books, they've been good. They've given me a little nugget here, a little bit there, but I truly believe it's a kind of a learned experience where you have to find the things that work for you. For me, I do better when I exercise. I do better when I go for walks. Taking our two dogs, or one of our two dogs, depending who's on good behavior that day, taking the dogs for a walk and getting outside and breathing the fresh air and seeing the sunshine, that definitely is good for me. Like I said, after reading Dan Harris's book, I was listening to his podcast, and it referenced their app, the 10% Happier app. And so I started to use that to do some mindfulness every day. I do that in conjunction with some ice baths. And so I've tried everything. I keep trying things to find the things that help me the most. And I think it's a little blend. Some days I feel like doing some yoga. Some days I feel like sitting and taking some time. Sometimes it's a walk. Sometimes it's exercise and getting in the gym. There's all kinds of different things. But I think the most important thing I hope people hear when they listen to this is that this stress is there. This job, whether it's parents or students, teachers, there's going to be stress in what you do. You have to make tough decisions. And I think in those circumstances, you start to give yourself some tools to deal with that stress in those moments. I think you'll be better at your job and you'll enjoy your job a whole lot better. I think one of the things that I took away from the things that I've read is, it's very natural that when you are stressed out, when you're not at your best, that you kind of pull away from people and that you kind of get secluded, you kind of go, kind of step back. And in some ways, that's the worst thing you can do. We're a people that live on those relationships, and when we're not, when we pull back from those relationships, we lose our safety net. We lose those supports that help us when times are tough. So, for me, it's my spouse, it's my wife, it's my my colleagues, the other assistant principal next door. It's the teacher friends that I have. It's my brother, it's my sister, it's my mom and dad, all those people that I talk to when I'm having a bad day that kind of help me to kind of, sometimes see things from a different angle, sometimes to think about things. Sometimes you just need to go, yeah, man, that's really rough, and that's enough. And so relying on those relationships that you've built, I think that's an important part of this. Finding that, finding a peer, finding somebody who's doing the same job that you are, who you can reach out to on those tough days. I've got several in our district of friends who are also administrators who, when we're having a rough moment, that we can reach out to each other, we can send a text, we can talk, and I think that's been really powerful for me. I think the thing that I would always encourage everybody to work on is when a situation is over, when you've dealt with something, you've made a tough decision, you've given all of your best efforts to solving a problem, and it's kind of wrapped up. Don't second guess yourself. Move on from those circumstances, move on from those situations. You always think about putting it in a box. When you're done with something that's causing you stress and you've done all you can do with it, put it in a box, be done with it. Don't let it linger. Don't let it come home with you to the dinner table. Don't let it come home to you to reading a books with your kids at night, all those things, because as you manage your own stress, you still want to be a great parent, a great friend, a great spouse, a great just a great person. And when you let those stressors from 9 a.m. in the morning or from the day before or whatever come back and creep into your day, I think that makes it that much worse, and that's that compounding. And so being able to reset is really important. Stress is not easy. It's a work in progress dealing with it, and I encourage you to work. And I hope that there's something there, maybe one of those books you can pop in or an app you can watch, get in to listen to. Just really encourage you to do the work. And if you have anybody has anything they want to talk about with that, I'm always open and always willing to share what I've done, and willing to be a mentor and a friend and a peer to anybody who needs it, because it is hard work, but it's good work, and it's important work, and to take care of yourself, to take care of your health, both your physical and your mental health, is really, really important. Well, I appreciate you tuning in today. I try to keep these short and sweet so you can listen to them on a quick commute to the grocery store or wherever you're off and about to. Next time, I'm going to give you something really practical. We're going to talk about a teacher dashboard, which is something we created here a couple years ago and has been a huge success. And when I started my podcast, one of my really good teacher friends, Liza Payton, said to me, well, you better have one about the teacher dashboard. So teacher dashboard is up next, and we're going to talk about that and how that can make both your teachers' lives and your life as an administrator that much better, and a great project for you to work on during the summer so it's up and running when the students come back in the fall. Well, have a great day, and this has been Other Duties as Assigned.